Let's face it, it's May 2021 and you're asking yourself the question, when Cardano Moon? Well, that's what I want to talk about today. So I do thank you for joining me. I'm Jay Murph with the Crypto Rain channel, and let's go ahead and get this party started. Join me, Rainmakers. Well, thank you for joining me. Like you, I'm an investor myself. If you're looking for the very best YouTube channel in all this space, well, I'm new at making YouTube channels. I'm, been doing YouTube for about 5 months. I have been investing for 20 years, and I've been investing in crypto for 4. So I can't even say I was here since the beginning. I wasn't. Somebody misinformed, told me that Bitcoin was kind of very different than it really is. And so I thought, well, that doesn't sound attractive. And I really only caught a hold of this space in 2017. Did learn some very valuable lessons in 2017, which I hope that my subscribers not to make many of those same mistakes that I did make, even though I had been an investor for a while. And I knew better, but I still had to touch the hot pan once or twice before never doing it again. And it's helped me learn, and many of my subscribers haven't had to go through those same mistakes. So if that's the kind of content you're looking for, well, that's what I can share, because I am an investor. I learned that thinking like an investor helps you do way better. And at first, whenever we're new, we're always bad before we're good, right? And so the reason people, I feel, tune into my channel is so that I can help them go through this learning curve faster. Well, if you are a subscriber to the channel, you know Cardano is one of my very favorite projects. And I'll share with you why it's one of my very favorite projects. Charles Hoskinson, number one, super transparent. He comes on, does his own YouTube channel, so you get to hear from him on a consistent basis. Secondly, I did take some computer science at the university level, and I learned that when you take the time to architect out what you're trying to do, that you build better software. You run into way less bugs, and it ends up working and functioning way better in the long term. And Charles Hoskinson, when he set this up, is one of the founders of Ethereum. He realized a lot of the shortcomings of the Ethereum project and some things that he wanted to set up better from the beginning, and he did take the time to architect it out, and he hired some very smart people to mathematically prove it, which is something you often do in computer science and mathematics, is you prove that it's going to work using proofs, and then you go about actually programming it, which is a much better way to set up your system from the beginning. And I can't say I was an expert at computer science, but I did have some in-depth classes, and that was exactly the way that you set things up right from the beginning. So when I saw that he was going that route, I said, wow, usually it takes longer to do that. And it did. It took him a long time, and he didn't have something usable till, we still don't have something fully usable. It's partially usable now, but it's coming very soon. And my guess is that when it hits, it's going to hit a lot at the same time, because one of the downsides of going that route is it's so slow for so long. But because you built it, think of building a school or a building like a skyscraper, and you spend the time to dig way down to set up really solid footings. And sometimes you have to dig like 10 stories deep. And so you don't see anything happening above the surface for a long time, which is very frustrating. But if you're patient, that patience pays off, because once they get to where they're at the surface level, it goes up very quickly from there because it's got solid footings and foundations. And that's what I've felt about Cardano for a long time. And, it was just a dream to be able to buy Cardano at like 3 cents over a year ago, when in March, when everybody was fudding it, and, there were a bunch of people interested in Tezos that would make fun of Cardano and how far behind it was, and look at where Cardano is versus Tezos today. And so, I just remember specifically them being super terrible to Cardano at the time. And so, and Tezos they just made their staking live, and everyone said, oh, why would you ever buy Cardano when you could buy Tezos? And Tezos hasn't done very much since then, and Cardano is in a whole different place. My feeling is there's so much more room to run, because it's really just broken above its previous all-time high. And, well, it did before, and it plays around with this previous all-time high level, much as you saw with Bitcoin and Ethereum, and it kept coming back and retesting it. And then finally when it broke through, it ran. So if you're asking when Cardano, well, it might be right about now, because if you look at the charts, which is what I have pulled up here, this is Cardano versus US dollar tether on Binance. We're looking on the 2-hour time frame. Well, look at this. So this was right about the previous all-time high level. Broke up to it, and then it came back down. Broke up to it, came back down. This time it broke through, and then it said, just kidding, came back down. But this is a solid breakup, and now it's retesting. Now it's retesting this trend line. It's actually above its previous all-time high, but this is often exactly what breakouts look like. Now, so the question is it going to break up from here? Well, it looks like it might. I mean, this is exactly what breakouts look like. Now, it could break back down below and trade in this trend for longer, or this might be the decision point that so many of us have been waiting for, and I'm long-term with Cardano. Now, long-term is, I don't know that I'm going to hold much of it beyond what I feel is the top of this market, but I'm holding it, and I've been holding it for a year and 2 years. For the next 4 to 6 months is the time frame that I've been looking for since way back then, and this is not my sell strategy. I have been doing nothing but accumulating during this time, so I haven't sold off Cardano and not selling off Cardano until we hit much bigger prices. And so this is exciting. It was exciting when it broke up, but as it often does, it then usually, not always, comes back and retests. And so we're at the retest point. So we'll see exactly where it goes. So if you've been asking yourself when Cardano Moon, this might be what you've been looking for. As far as the fundamental analysis, you know why Cardano is strong. I mean, if you think about what's coming soon, yes, Africa was a big deal. It was and it wasn't. It's Ethiopia. The way they're using it is revolutionary, especially as other government agencies and other like school systems and other things start using it. That really is exciting for those countries because they'll have better transparency, and I'm excited about the revolution that will create in its own way, but that revolution is going to take a while to happen. Hopefully other things will come on board, but there's going to be a different type of revolution altogether. And imagine when smart contracts are available. Because you've been setting up the footing so well, and because Ethereum gas fees are still so high, what I suspect is going to happen is that you're going to have massive amounts of projects coming over to Cardano and bringing their projects and things over to it, and that is going to change everything. And so my guess is when that happens and people realize how big this is, that it's going to do very well from here. And that's my hope as an investor. Keep in mind, I'm just an investor myself. I have been investing in general for 20 years. I like to think I know what I'm talking about. I've done very good for me in my day job, because I still work a day job. I am a professional buyer for an investment company, and I make smart acquisitions for them. So buying is what I'm good at. And, you know, crypto, many of these same principles apply. So I don't give financial advice. None of this is financial advice to you. I just tell you what decisions I'm making and why. As to what decisions you make, really, that's up to you. Everyone's got different goals. So Cardano is by far my biggest altcoin holding, and for the reasons I explained. So as to whether it fits in your portfolio, just kind of, you know, analyze for yourself. I do suggest that you subscribe to multiple YouTube channels and you have multiple people that you follow so that you can take in all their opinions and make decisions for yourself. Not so much their opinions, so much as the information that they give you, so that you're making as informed decisions as possible. Thank you for joining me. I just want to give you these quick thoughts on this Saturday. We will see you soon. And I'm going to leave you with Manuela, who did this outro for all the people that subscribe to my channel. I call you the Rainmakers. And this is for you.
Success is falling, flowing like rain. The timing's right, we're getting paid. Come on, Rainmakers, let's make this happen.